Hey everybody, it's Christine. Welcome to a new video this Saturday. Today I am going to be doing a layout that is one of my favorites that I've done recently. It uses the Little Dude collection from Simple Stories that came in the Flavors of the Month kit from the ScrapRoom, and it has vibrant, fun colors, but also is packed with black and white, and it is just such a fun page kit. So I decided, of course, to go with a boy layout for it, and I really wanted to play up the colors in it up against the black and white. So I'm taking this striped pattern paper first, and I am just cutting it into strips. I'm not worried about precision at this point. The way I'm going to set the whole layout up is there's not going to be perfectly straight lines and angles and such, and so I'm just using my scissors. I'm just following the lines that are there on the paper, and they kind of have, the lines are a little wonky, and they are a little bit, have like kind of a stitching look in between them. They almost look painted, I guess, is painted, stitching, both of those things look like they're happening on it. So it kind of lends itself to not having to worry about cutting too neatly. Now the next thing I'm going to do is take this other pattern paper with all these circles, and I am going to cut some of them out. And what I'm doing is I want to use these for embellishments. This is one of those papers that, yeah, you could possibly use it for background. Definitely the back side you could. The front side, there's a lot going on. And so to me, it just screams, these are meant to be embellishments. So bang for your buck, cut out your embellishments from your patterned paper. Now, in addition to the Flavors of the Month kit this month, I am also using the embellishment kit. So you will see me using both of those throughout. And what I'm going to do is kind of a color blocking in a way. I'm going to keep my colors together. So I cut out this patterned paper here. This one has the black and white background, and I'm gonna just put it straight down the middle. It does go the full length of it, and then I have the black border edges from my black cardstock. And you can see the opposite side of that is the stripes that I was cutting out a little bit ago. So I had to be kind of intentional about where I was cutting so I would still have enough to use here for my base. And you can see already it's really got a nice contrast, nice pop going on. Then I'm going to go ahead and pull out my pictures. These are just square 3x3 pictures, and I'm going to mat them on cardstock, and then I'm going to pop them up using some crafty foam tape from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. And put those onto my page here in a little bit. Now, as you recall, the ScrapRoom is a non-commitment kit club. You can join and quit at any point. The Flavors of the Month kit comes with 4 different page kits each month, and then you can also pick up the embellishment kit or additional patterned papers, or you got lots of add-on options. But the Flavors of the Month kit is meant to kind of give you a taste of 4 different collections that are available right now in the scrapbooking world. I love it. I love every month getting something fresh to play with. I can't even tell you, like, seriously, when my box comes every month, I'm like, yes. And then I dive in to see. I don't even look ahead of time to see, because being on the design team, I can kind of get a look at what is coming ahead. And I never do, because I want to be surprised when I open up my kit from Rochelle. So I just love it. And I'm going to tell you, I just don't spend that much money on supplies beyond that, because between my other design team work and getting these 4 collections each month, I really don't need much more. My time is pretty well taken up by them, and that's great. I love that it really covers a need for me, and things are already matched up, so I don't have to worry about that aspect of things either. And of course, there's always the the coffee sample that comes with the kit is a nice little add-in. So now what you're seeing in this is that I have gone down in a rainbow color scheme, and I'm going to just add my strips on. You can see that I cut the strips down a little bit. Again, I didn't measure. I'm not being sure that they're all the exact same size. I wasn't going for that. I'm putting them at a diagonal. I'm putting them sort of straight. I'm staggering the lengths, all those things, because I'm going for a little bit of a loose look here. you can see how nicely the colors in this look. And I love that they kept with the rainbow scheme, but they cut out the purple and used a couple different shades of blue. It really is eye-catching. And it, you know, totally would work for a girl layout, quite frankly, too. Of course, the embellishments and the patterned papers beyond this scream boy. But you can see at this point, I could totally take it the direction of a girl thing if I pulled out some different embellishments and such. Now, here's where the pictures are going to come in. I want to get 3 of them on there. And these are all 3 of my son, who is 5, and he was being a bit of a ham. And so I decided to use these pictures, not necessarily to tell the story of where we were at, but to tell a little more of his story. And so I'm going to just highlight his personality. And one of the things that I really loved about the embellishments that came both in the kit as well as in the embellishment kit is there was a lot of things in there that I say about my son, that things that I call him, things that I say to him regularly. And so I had a hard time even narrowing down which ones I was going to use because of that, which is always fun. When there's more than you really need, that's fantastic, right? And you know, again, Simple Stories just consistently hits it out of the park. Their collections are so fabulous, and can be very trendy, but also very classic, and also very grown up, but also little. They just do a nice job of like covering so many different areas. And I love that about them. I also love their fonts. I love the fonts that they use for their print as well as for their script. One of my favorite things about them. So now you see I'm pulling out some stickers, and this one says never grow up, okay, which is kind of cliche, but I think it fits really well with these pictures. And he's my baby, so, you know, I kind of feel that way about him. I'm like, oh, you're growing up. He's almost 6. I don't want him to. So there's that. Now, what I'm going to do with my circles and my stickers and my ephemera is coordinate them, like I said, kind of color blocking in a way, coordinate them with the colors that they go with. So I am going to just be adding those red ones to the red line. I'm going to be adding orange ones to the orange line. The way I'm going to vary things is that I'm going to go back and forth between using just my Easy Runner Grand to lay them flat, and also then using 3D foam squares to pop them up. So I'm going to get some dimension going on that way. But you can see I'm going to use a lot of words because so many of them fit. Like that top one up there says about being a cool kid, cutie pie. There's just so many that work. And I did decide I want to move that never give up or never grow up onto the actual picture of him, and especially that one because he was being silly with his hands. So I think it really fits there, but it also pops a little better than it was up against that patterned paper. That is one thing I'm really careful about as I create, is not sticking anything down too hard until I know for sure I'm really ready to commit to that being there. The adhesives that I use are fantastic about a permanent hold, but not an immediate permanent hold. So you got a little bit of time, and I would say probably less than 30 minutes before they secure themselves really on there. I've never timed it, but I have noticed, you know, the longer I leave them on there, even if I haven't pushed down real hard, they do stick on there. So you definitely want to consider that as you go. If you're not ready to commit, be careful how hard you push things down. And if you're like me, you're constantly moving things. So I am playing around a little bit here with the ephemera, just kind of seeing if I can fit some more stuff in there, but I don't want it to be too busy and I don't want to lose the pictures. So I'm going to be cautious about adding too much in. I felt like those black and white arrows were just a little bit too much. I am going to pull in some of these stars just to bring a different shape in. There are a limited number of them that I have, so I'm not going to go too crazy with them, but just a few. And then I do also want to bring in a couple of things that he says. You know, I've got a lot of words already going on here, but I want to bring in a couple of things that he says that I don't want to forget. So I'm going to use some of the index tabs to take care of that. And I'm just going to put them up by his pictures so that I can make sure, you know, those little things that they say that we forget so often. I talk about that a lot. But really, it's really important to me. I don't want to forget all the cute things that they say and do. So I'm going to add that to this. Since it's a pretty generic layout, it's a good place to add it in. So I just added, you can see up there at the top, it says this one thing that he says that's a yut, and then he says something else that he says, Brody K. And neither of them make sense to anyone outside of our family, but they totally make sense to us. They're just Bo. And final thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add on some white dots. I'm just using my white pen. Rather than get real messy, I'm just adding a few little whimsical dots on there. And there you have it. Beautiful rainbow, fun, Screams Little Boy layout with just this fabulous page kit from the Scrap Room this month. Be sure, if you haven't picked up your kit yet, to head on over there right now and grab it, because it is the best kit this month so far. I love it. I've used it all. We'll see you again next time.